Have you ever wondered why people stay in a burning house? Why do they defend the very person who is destroying their peace, their sanity, and their future? From the outside, it looks like weakness. It looks like a choice. We tell ourselves, I would never let someone treat me that way, or I would have walked away months ago. But inside the mind of the victim, something much more sinister is happening. It is a psychological phenomenon so powerful that it can turn a rational, strong-willed human being into a devoted shadow of their former self. It's called traumatic bonding, and it is the most effective invisible chain ever discovered in the study of human behavior. It is a mechanism where your brain starts to mistake fear for excitement and cruelty for a strange, twisted form of love. Most people think loyalty is built on kindness, consistency, and mutual respect. But the darkest truth of psychology is that the strongest, most unbreakable loyalty is often forged in the fire of inconsistent pain. This is the golden chain, a psychological trap where the person who hurts you also becomes the only one who can comfort you. Welcome back to What Else Official. Today, we are stripping away the mask of love to reveal why your brain is actually wired to crave the very thing that breaks you. We are going into the biology of the intermittent reinforcement loop, the same exact mechanism that makes gambling and slot machines so addictive. If someone is mean to you all the time, your instinct kicks in and you leave. If they're nice all the time, the relationship becomes predictable and eventually you might get bored. But if they are cruel one moment and a hero the next, if they push you off a cliff and then catch you at the very last second, you are hooked. Your brain begins to starve for that small, rare hit of dopamine that comes only when the pain finally stops. In this deep dive, we will show you how narcissists, high-level manipulators, and even some of the most successful cult-like organizations in the world use this pain and relief cycle to ensure absolute, unquestioning devotion. Have you ever felt a bond with someone that felt more like a physical addiction than a conscious choice? You weren't in love, you were in a chemical prison of your own mind's making. Are you ready to see the bars of that prison? The door is open, but it's only for those who are brave enough to look at the shadows of their own loyalty. In the following chapters, we will break down the oxytocin-cortisol cocktail that floods your system during a fight and a makeup, and why your heart beats faster for the person who makes it stop. We will examine why the trauma bond is the hardest chain to break, even when you know it's killing you. What else is hiding in the silence of your devotion? Let's find out together as we descend into the dark science of the golden chain. The truth is uncomfortable, but it's the only thing that can set you free. To break the golden chain, you must first understand the chemical warfare happening inside your own nervous system. Traumatic bonding is not a character flaw, it is a biological hijacking. When someone you are bonded to hurts you, insults you, or threatens to leave, your body is flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone. You are in a state of high alert, fear, and physical pain. But then, the manipulator shifts. They apologize, they cry, they give you a golden moment of intense affection or a heroic rescue from the very chaos they created. In that moment of relief, your brain releases a massive surge of dopamine and oxytocin. This is the relief reward. The contrast between the intense pain of the cortisol and the sudden euphoria of the oxytocin creates a bond that is stronger than any healthy, stable relationship could ever be. This is why you feel addicted to the person. You aren't addicted to them, you are addicted to the feeling of the pain stopping. This is the dark engine of intermittent reinforcement. In psychology, we know that if you reward a behavior every single time, the subject eventually loses interest. But if you reward a behavior randomly, if the love only comes after a period of pain, the subject becomes obsessed. They will work harder, wait longer, and endure more suffering just for the hope of that next random hit of affection.
This is the exact same logic used by casinos to keep people at slot machines until their pockets are empty. The manipulator is the house, and you are the player betting your soul on a hand that was never meant to win. You begin to develop hypervigilance, constantly scanning their mood, their tone, and their texts, trying to predict when the next storm will hit and when the sun will come back out. This mental exhaustion is part of the trap. A tired mind is a mind that cannot fight back. You start to rationalize the abuse, telling yourself, they only act this way because they had a hard childhood, or I just need to be more patient. You become the protector of your own prison guard. This is where the Stockholm trap seals shut. You begin to perceive the small acts of kindness from your abuser as evidence of their true self, while dismissing the cruelty as a mistake or a lapse in judgment. But the truth is the opposite. The cruelty is the hook, and the kindness is the bait. High-level manipulators know that a human being can endure almost anything as long as there is a tiny, flickering hope of a reward at the end. They keep you in a perpetual state of starvation so that when they finally give you a crumb of affection, it tastes like a feast. This is how they build a mental fortress around you that no friend or family member can break through. They make themselves the center of your universe by being the source of both your greatest agony and your only ecstasy. Have you ever noticed how the more someone hurts you, the more desperate you feel to make them happy? That is the golden chain tightening around your neck. We are going to show you how to recognize the dopamine loop before it's too late, and how to starve the predator of the one thing they need most, your emotional reaction. What else are you willing to sacrifice for a person who only loves you when it's convenient for them? Let's look at the exit strategy.
Breaking a trauma bond is not like ending a normal relationship. It is like recovering from a chemical addiction. The hardest part is the withdrawal. When you finally decide to walk away, your brain doesn't celebrate, it panics. It screams for the hit of validation from the person who hurt you. This is the moment of maximum danger, where most people crawl back into the cage, convinced that the pain of being alone is worse than the pain of being abused. But the secret to breaking the golden chain is to recognize the ghost of hope. You have to realize that the person you fell in love with, the one who was kind, the one who rescued you, never actually existed. They were a mirror, reflecting back exactly what you needed to see so they could hook you. The cruelty was the reality. The kindness was the costume. To heal, you must go no contact. You must starve the dopamine loop. You have to endure the silence until your brain recalibrates and remembers how to produce its own peace. This is the zero reaction state we've discussed before, but applied to your own internal survival. Once you stop looking for the hero in your shikari, the chain loses its gold and reveals itself as rusted, heavy iron. You are not a victim of your heart. You are a target of a biological heist. But now you have the blueprint. You know how the trap is set, and you know how the gears turn. The power they had over you was never theirs. It was your loyalty, your empathy, and your chemistry that they stole and turned against you. When you take that back, they become nothing but a shadow in your rearview mirror. You are the master of your own nervous system. This is What Else Official. We are more than a channel. We are a fortress for the mind. We don't just watch human behavior. We dissect it until the monsters have nowhere left to hide. If this deep dive into the golden chain felt like someone was finally describing your own life, then you are exactly where you need to be. You are not alone, and you are not crazy. You were just caught in a loop. But the loop ends here. We want to hear from the survivors in our community. Have you ever felt that addiction to a person who was bad for you? How did you find the strength to cut the chain? Share your story in the comments below. Your words might be the exact map someone else needs to find their way out of the dark. We read every comment because your evolution is the reason we do this.
If this script gave you the clarity you've been searching for, hit the like button and share this with someone who is currently trapped in a burning house. You might just save a life. And if you're ready to master the rest of the dark mechanics of the mind, subscribe to What Else Official and hit the bell icon. We are just getting started. The world wants you to react, but we want you to observe. What else is hiding in the bonds you refuse to break? Let's find out together in the next one. Stay vigilant, stay cold, stay free.